I don't care what movie you done or how much money or where you live. At the end of the day, we all do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And we all got to die. So at the end of the day, you not above me. You know, I'm not below you like that.
Yo, this is the Inflection Collective. All of us are connected, reflective, real life perspective, respected. The banter, the chit chat, no cap is big facts. So kick back. This here is done there, been there.
Hey, welcome back. I'm your host, Ephraim Salaam, and this is Done There, Been That. And of course, I got my main man, my partner in crime, my brother, Mike Hill.
What's happening? What's happening?
Mike, yeah.
Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Please continue to hit that notification button. We appreciate all the love and support that you've given us so far. I wanted to talk today about navigating different worlds, right?
Oh, okay.
We both come from humble beginnings and whatnot, and we've been able to navigate in different worlds outside of the norm, outside of our hoods, whatever. And how we've been able to do that, we want to pass along some of the lessons because we got a special guest in the house who's actually kind of done that.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
He's a dope young man.
Yeah.
Tremendous at his craft as an actor, a thespian. And that's Jordan Jones.
Jordan Jones.
My man.
Thank you. I appreciate that, by the way. The thespian compliment.
For those of you who don't know.
What you've been doing if you don't know.
Jordan has taken on the jazz role and the reboot of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, just called Bel-Air.
Yes.
On
All right. And
great show.
Yes.
Phenomenal show. Not just because we're a part of it. I'm one of the writers on it.
Mm-hmm.
But Jordan has taken a character that was a novelty, right?
For sure.
A little punchline.
Absolutely.
And added such depth to it. And tell me about the beginning of this process for you, right? Like when you heard about the show and you went out for an audition.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I've told this story so many times, man. It feels like unreal, but actually, when I first got the audition, I remember I was in Englewood, and I actually turned it down. I turned the audition down because Fresh Prince is one of my favorite shows still to this day, all the time. And because, you know, as actors, sometimes we get the character breakdown. Sometimes we don't get the script.
Mm-hmm.
And so my agents and managers call me like, yo, we have an audition for you to be the new Jazz in the new Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reboot. And I was like fuck no. Like that, I'm not going to, just because of the, you know, just the stereotype and kind of stipulation of reboots.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know,
they don't work.
They don't work.
Right.
Not like that, you know? And that's just the truth usually. And people just always have these preconceived notions, so they don't give it a chance regardless. I know that it's a sitcom. Will Smith. I still watch Fresh Prince all the time. You know, at the time, now I kind of tone it down a little bit.
I got you.
But I watched it every night to go to sleep, that and Martin. And it was just like, I don't want to, if this is a sitcom, that show is still relevant. Will Smith is, you know, you can't even find another Will Smith. It's just, why are they even doing this? Mm-hmm. And so I told my people, like, nah, I'm not going to do it. And the weird part about it is usually when you talk to your reps about, like, an audition, you guys can go back and forth that day. Like, I want you to do it. Okay, whatever. I'm not doing it. Okay, fine, I'll do it. But that is that day. Once you guys hang up that phone, like, they don't ask you about it again.
Right.
Dude, the next day, they called me back, and my manager was like, dude, I can't let you pass up on this audition. I'm going to give you the script. Whoop-de-whoop. So I was like, okay, like, fine. I told my mom about it. She was like, you'd be a great Jazz. I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. Like, that sounds great. But, like, whatever. I read the script, and I'm like, okay, this is different. And they sent me a link to Morgan's, like, 2019 trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I had completely forgot about that. I had saw that in 2019.
You saw, I mean, exactly, same thing.
And was like, yo, this is dope, but then, like, forgot about it. Didn't know that was correlated at all. And when I saw that clip, I was like, oh, my God. Wait, this is what I saw years ago. You know what? Like, I'm going to do it. So fast forward, I do the audition. And what I do with auditions, because as an actor, this is like the profession of no. So it's like, if you sit there and do one audition when you know they audition 500, 600 people or whatever the number is, and you're just holding on to it like that, it's just not healthy. So I did the audition, left. I like went to Atlanta, and then my reps called me. They were like, yo, you got a call back, but like chemistry read. And I'm like, oh, and I could have done it there on my iPad. I said, no, I need to fly back. So I flew back that night. And I went and I did the audition. It was a chemistry read with Jabari and Morgan. And the funniest thing about this is that I do the first scene, and Morgan is like, okay, cool. At first, I'm talking with Jabari, just banter, like, congratulations, because he made that whole video about how he got the role. So I'm doing it with him. I'm like, congrats, bro. Like, cool. He was cool. And we're doing the audition. It was 2 scenes. And did the first scene, and then Morgan was like, okay, cool, next scene. And right there in my brain, I was like, oh, I didn't get it. Like, I didn't get it. Because
Why'd you feel that way?
I'd already done another show before, and the director made me do it over and over and over and over again. At that time, I thought I didn't get it, because I'm like, he making me do it over again. That means I'm not doing it right.
Yeah.
So he ended up telling me, oh, we do that to make sure you can take direction, all this stuff. Yeah, you got like you're coachable. I'm like, oh, okay, so now I think I get it. Everybody has their different method of madness. And so I do the second scene, and he's like, okay, great, Jordan. And I'm like, okay, well, thank you guys for having me. And, you know, whoop-de-whoop. Hung up the Zoom, called my mom immediately. Mom, I didn't get the role.
Oh.
What happened? You messed up? Like, oh, my God, son, what'd you do? I'm like, I just know I didn't get it. They didn't ask me nothing. I get a call the next day that I got pinned for it. So I'm like, oh, wow, this is crazy. I had to wait a whole weekend. And so now after you do the chemistry read and stuff, now I'm attached to it. I'm like, man, now I'm jazzed, right? And I think it was a Jewish holiday on Monday. There was like Ramadan or something. And so like there was no answer till like Tuesday.
Ramadan is not a Jewish
holiday. Or it was
Hanukkah,
Sorry. You're in front of me, so I'm thinking all your holidays.
Really?
I think it was Rosh Hashanah.
Thank you.
There we go.
I'm like,
Okay.
Jazz, you're Muslim on the show.
Look, I'm sorry.
God bless America.
Yeah, my fault. That was crazy, Loki.
What are you doing?
Don't get mad.
We've had these conversations
Yes.
on set, man.
I think it's because you're in front of me, so I was like, Muslim. I was like, Muslim.
You're talking to Jordan right now. You're not talking to Jazz.
So I had to wait till like Tuesday, and I finally like get the role. It was crazy. I was like crying. It was crazy. And so we shoot the first scene, and then me and Jabari have lunch with Morgan. And so Morgan is like, yo, so how'd you feel like when you got it? And I was like, well, I didn't think I fucking got it at all. I thought I was like done for. You didn't ask me nothing. And he goes, dude, right when you came on the screen, I just knew it was you. So we didn't have to waste more time.
Wow.
And that just made me, realize that everybody is different. You just go in and you do the best that you can. Don't assume anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because my mom always says, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I'm thinking like, oh man, like I didn't get it and I look stupid because I actually got it right then. And I'm thinking, oh, like I didn't get it. I was in my head for a whole day. It was crazy.
That made it so much better, man. I got to give you a props, man, because this adaptation of Jazz is so much different than the original, obviously. It's not a punchline. Yeah. You got depth. It's a character that you root for, somebody that's like a deep brother, man. And you have it down pat, man. The fact that you didn't think you was going to get it and got it, that's a blessing in itself, man.
Well, before you finish, let me ask you this. Are you team Jazz or team Lamarcus?
That's a great question.
I'm definitely team Jazz. Okay. I never liked that dude. But so to be quiet, I never liked it. Here's the thing. I feel like I'm more Jazz than you're the athlete, the guy that comes in and always gets the girl.
Oh, so I'm Lamarcus?
Yeah, you're Lamarcus. You're the athlete that comes in and gets the girl because she's seeing and bro, so you got to watch. If you haven't seen Bel-Air, you got to watch it because there is a situation that's going on that's like this little triangle that's happening right now between you, Hillary, and Lamarcus and whatnot. For sure. But to my point, man, I was talking about like, when did you know? Like, because you talked about at first you didn't even want the part. Mm-hmm. Then you get the part, you're invested in the part. When did you know you guys had a hit on your hand? And when did you know that, man, this Jazz is a huge part of this show and not just, like I said, a throwaway punchline?
Man, so kind of 2 answers to your question. I knew that we were going to have a hit when the first trailer came out because, of course, we're shooting it. Yeah. And a lot of people don't know that, like, just because I'm shooting it, I ain't seen it. Like, right now, seeing these episodes, first time. So even though we're shooting it, I'm in that scene, I don't see how it look. Like, we've done so many takes. I don't see which take they're going to use. I did a funny take. I did a serious one. I don't know actually how it's going to, pan out. So as kind of like little things pop out, like, okay, new series Bel-Air coming, this, whatever. No trailer come out. You see the comments. Oh, this bull. Like, yeah, I gotta, like, man, I ain't watching this shit. Yeah, all type of stuff. And I was like, I ain't seen it either. Like, I believed in us. I know that we're doing good work, but you have to visually, see it. Mm-hmm. And when we saw that first episode and they brought us in before. I think we were shooting like episode 6 or something. Yep. I was in to watch episode 1, and like some of us was in tears, and just because I was a part of something, I was like, this is fucking good.
Yeah.
Like this is actually really good. And the day we dropped that trailer, dude, my phone went insane. Like friends, family. Bro, I didn't know it was gonna be this. Oh my God, I didn't know. Like yada.
DMs was popping.
Huh?
DMs were popping.
Dude, insane. Like just text messages like, yo, I saw you on that new show. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Hey, you remember me?
Yeah, whatever. Like, whatever.
Hey,
like,
Jay,
I'm grown
what's
now.
happening?
I'm up now. No. but I think to the second part of that question, man, I really credit the writers. How I knew that like I was really in stride is like one of the things that like, you know, I'm just so grateful for. Like I knew that when I got the role of Jazz, that Jazz was, there's no like real order because we're all important, but like being realistic, like the show is about Will Smith, right? Mm-hmm. And kind of show is about really like Will Smith and Carlton. Mm-hmm. And then after that, like the show is about Will Smith and Carlton, but like the Banks family as a whole. Mm-hmm. And I knew what Jazz was. So I'm like, good, I can come in and like do my thing. People gonna love me. That's great, you know? But I didn't expect the reception that I would get about, you know, through the first 3 episodes. I'm seeing people like, where's Jazz? Like, Jazz. And I'm like, really? Like, I'm just doing my job.
Right.
And, you know, E recognized that. The writers recognized that. So I'm seeing slowly but surely, I'm like, oh, I'm getting more lines. I'm doing like, you know what I'm saying? I'm in depth, like, you know, like we're really having real deep scenes. And I didn't ask for that at all. Like, you know, so I think that helped me kind of get into my character because it's not like I'm just like, yo, I pop up when Will is there and just like, yo, what's good, man? Give you some advice and pop out. Now it's like, and I think that is why in season 2, me and E had a conversation because, you know, now I'm starting to make certain choices that I'm like, man, I wouldn't do that. Like, come on, E, like, how my card decline at dinner in season 2 and I bring up LaMarcus, like me as a human, I would never do that. Right. Like, if I feel insecure about somebody, I'm not going to tell my girl that. I might tell my friends, my mom, but in front of her, I'm going to keep it G.
Right.
And I'm like, how y'all going to have me saying, like, yo, if it was LaMarcus, you would have let him try again. I'm like, man, that is not what I would do. And they were like, exactly.
Right.
That's not you.
You're Jazz.
You're Jazz.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my God, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, wait, you're right. This isn't me. And so just honing into that and just accepting that has made me so much more like appreciative of the script because then when I see other stuff, I'm like, oh, that's why I did that. I didn't see that was coming, but that's exactly why I did that. And now this makes more sense because I did that.
It happened. So Jordan has always been inquisitive, okay? Mm-hmm. Not as much as Ollie.
I'm about to say, Ollie's
Ollie's
the one who plays Carlton.
He will. Ollie plays our Carlton Banks. He will sneak into the writer's room to see what's up on the board, to see what's going on.
And to look and be like, and they have to be like, yo, what you doing? He like,
and I tell you a secret. We knew he was coming in one day, right? We weren't going to let him get all the way into the writer's room, but I wrote on the board so he can see from the hallway, episode 6, Carlton ODs, right? So as we're out there laughing and talking and hobnobbing, I see him look, and then he's just like, yeah, and then he was just like, wait, what? And I was like, see, stop being in people's business. But Jordan would come, just like in season 2, this year in season 3, he was like, yo, for those who haven't seen it, I'm not gonna ruin it, but it's a hospital involved. And he was like, well, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Right. Like, why would I do that?
I remember, man.
And I said, hey, man, look, let me tell you something, man. Come on over here. Let me talk to you.
That's exactly what
I was literally like, let me talk to you, man. I said, you got to understand what we're doing here.
Yeah.
We're telling a story, and a story can't be told in one scene.
Cannot.
Not when you're an important part of the sum of the season.
Yeah.
Right? The show. Our Jazz character, and the reason, going back to what you said earlier, was like, first 3 episodes, everybody said, where's Jazz? Where's Jazz? What we do as writers and as producers for any young, up-and-coming actors out there who are, you know, guest starring on the show or whatever that is, when we turn the cameras on and we start shooting these scenes and doing these takes, and we're looking And I'm like, oh no, he's got it. He's got it.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. And so we go back and we talk about it. Oh, we got to do more. We got to do more. Okay, so how can we build this out? Okay, our cast is so dynamic and so great.
Man.
It's hard to stand out.
It is.
Right.
When everybody's standing out.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Wholeheartedly.
But you have always been one of those characters to embrace, right, the role. You put some swagger, some flair to it, right? And it just brought a different type of energy that people saw from the original, which you have to hone in. That's why it's grown, and that's why it's like it's your world out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody plays a great part. Everybody
They
does a
really
great
do,
job,
man.
man. It's a great ensemble cast. Not to give things away, so I'm not going to give away. So if you have not seen
Then y'all tripping.
season
Yeah,
3,
go
or
see
if
the
you haven't
stuff.
seen
Go
the
watch
show
it,
yet,
man.
he has, like, just in the original episode, he has a thing for Hillary.
Yeah.
And Hillary and Jazz kind of go back and forth or whatnot. I'm not going to give it away. But in season 3, you had a line in episode 2. I think I just watched episode. It was episode 2 at the end where he says something like, "You gonna run away from that?"
Oh, that was one.
Yeah, that was episode 1.
That was
season 3.
Bro, that blew me away. I was like,
Yeah.
that's my dude right
Yeah.
there. Talk that
Nah,
shit. Talk that.
that was
I
real.
like, boy,
That was
I
real.
said that right there. So there's a scenario. And once again, if you haven't seen it, please just turn
Then
away
it's
for
your
a second.
fault.
Yeah, it's
Then
your fault. All right.
Pause the podcast
Yeah,
and go
pause
see it and come
Go-
back.
Go back and see it.
But say
So
talk
here's the
about
thing. So you get with Hillary. You've been with Hillary. You got had it back and forth. LaMarcus is her ex-boyfriend who comes back in her life. He's this star football player, and now they about to get married or got engaged or whatever.
Yeah.
And so after they got engaged, I think it's episode 3.
Yep.
You guys have a kiss, right? This is after.
It was actually the first episode coming back. That's when she gets engaged or announces
Y'all have an
it,
argument.
Yeah.
because I had told her about herself and she was like,
You did tell her off, man.
and
I
then
think
goes,
she-
and then
that
goes,
made her all
I'm
hot.
telling everybody right now.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, cool.
So then y'all kiss.
Second episode.
So with all that being said, this is the Done There Been That podcast where we talk about scenarios that we've all been in. It's this was fiction. It was written by E and all those guys. Whatever. There's a situation where you and Hillary kiss after she's engaged or whatever. Now there's a dilemma after episode 3 whether she should tell her fiance or not. If you were in that situation and you had a fiance and your ex comes up and you guys embrace and kiss, how would you handle it?
Oh, like would I tell her?
Yeah, would you tell her?
Hell no.
Why?
It's crazy. I think the best part is, like I say, even though we read each script,
Yeah.
at the end, I kind of forget like half the stuff. So I'm watching. I was actually last night while watching 5 and 6. I'm looking at Aunt Viv like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like this.
Oh, shit.
I'm
See, I haven't
this
even
is
seen
nuts.
5 and 6
I was
yet,
like,
so-
this happened?
oh,
I was
yeah.
going low key
What?
nuts. Like I had never, because I haven't seen it before and I forgot.
Because even in that situation, Aunt Viv is kind of going back and forth with dilemma.
Yeah.
Obviously, Uncle Phil kissed an ex of his.
Yes.
And so it's
So you guys want to know? You guys want to know what you guys are referring to? Huh?
What?
What? Yeah.
That's called excellence. That's
Excellence.
called that's called paralleling stories.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
That's called messy.
That's that's the key to right. There are no
Yeah.
siloed stories.
Do
Right.
you know how many relationships y'all fucking up, man?
I'm not fucking.
Yes,
I
you-
want to
because
bring
people-
honesty.
Because people are about to
I
have
wanna-
these
That's
discussions that we're
that
having
conversation Viv and Uncle Phil had in episode 5. The reason that's the episode I wrote, by the way. So if you don't watch any of them, watch that
Take your
one.
shit. Yeah.
That's a conversation I want couples to watch and then talk about.
Mm.
Right?
For sure.
Has that ever happened to you? Have you been attracted to somebody? Like, I want to open up dialogue because that's real. These are conversations my wife and I have had. Right? These are real conversations that couples need to be comfortable having. So you said, there ain't no way in hell I'm telling on myself.
I was actually watching it like brand new. I'm so right now I'm on episode 6 right now. I'm so mad at Ashley. Actually, I texted
Ashley
Akira. I'm
gangster.
like, "State, mind your damn business."
Oh, damn.
She is really gritty this season. I love
she
it
Team
though.
Jazz, though.
She is. That's what I love her about.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
she's like basically, whatever. I actually don't care. If you ain't seen it, your fault.
You're right.
Hillary is like, Ashley, like, what? And she's like, well, if you tell him, I'm not going to tell him. I'm like, your sister, I'll kill you. And my little sister, it's like, okay, it didn't mean anything. If it truly, like, you know, if it truly didn't mean anything or whatever, it was just something, it kind of happened in the moment, nobody saw. Like, I don't have to tell him. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to tell him if it don't mean nothing. And Ashley's like, well, you need to go tell him. And it's like, no, I don't. And she's like, well, I'm going to tell him if you don't. And I'm like, I'll strangle you. Like, are you serious? Yeah, I'm watching it like, what are you talking about?
Mom, Dad, Ashley had an accident.
Watching it as a viewer, even though I'm Jazz, I'm like, do not tell that nigga. Do not tell LaMarcus. For what?
Wow.
That is great. So, like, we get...
He said he'd tell, by the way. He would tell his wife.
Oh, so I've been with my wife 21 years. Mm-hmm. We've been married 18.
Okay.
The thing I know that you don't know yet is things somehow always come out.
When they'll come out in the wash, they'll come out in the rinse.
So what I know is if I'm the Uncle Phil in the situation and Erica kisses me, and this is an ex-girlfriend of mine, we're working together, the number one thing I'm going to do, me personally, is be like, hey, that's not it, and we can't work together anymore.
Yeah.
Then I'm going directly home and being like, yo, I need to talk to you and explain the situation, but then follow that up with, and we are no longer working together.
Like, I made a decision about it.
It happened. I've done the work to fix the situation.
Wow.
Because if you hold on, like Uncle Phil did, it's coming back.
It's gone, yeah.
And it's going to be worse if she gets it from somebody else. You don't know that yet.
But the thing is, the situation with Uncle Phil and Viv is a little different than Jazz and Hillary. They're not. They haven't been through marriage.
That's true.
I don't work with you together. He would really never find out. That is kind of a conflict of interest because it's like we literally work together, so it's gonna look like I've been cheating, really sleeping with this.
Late nights. It's gonna we in here fucking.
And how much are you not telling? And that's the next question because she's probably had questions before. And also what you're forgetting about, and I know about this story because I love this series. He needed her at that particular time because he was starting something new.
Yeah, he was.
He needed that business at that particular time. So he was kind of in that conflict. This is money. I know he made a lot of money before.
But he was like, happy wife, happy life. Yeah,
exactly.
Forget everything I go through.
That's what I'm saying.
I'd rather not get my ass whooped at home. It's way worse.
Because she's going to be like, okay, you're telling me this. Yeah. What else happened? And plus, they had a past. It happened before.
That's the thing, yeah.
And they worked together.
Oh, my God.
It's messy.
So messy.
What is it? If TV's not good unless it's messy.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
All right, and we have messy, we have
messy
black excellence, we have it all.
Y'all are.
But I want to talk about you.
Okay.
All right, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Englewood, California.
Englewood, woo woo.
Yep. Man,
I grew up on 6th and West Boulevard.
Oh,
all right. I went to Butlong Elementary.
Oh, okay.
All right.
You can always tell when somebody grew up in that part.
They're like, snap. Okay, I'm right.
You're a real one.
It's
okay.
instant. It's like it's
damn. You
just
survived.
Instant, right? But you got a chance to step out of that, right? Go to private school, change your environment, right? Yeah. What was that like?
Man, that was funny because I realized a lot of black stuff I was doing like wasn't cool with white people. So like, growing up with a single mother, my mom's one of the strongest people that I know, for real. And one of the things she always taught me is like, you always can adapt to certain things, but don't you ever change for nobody. So now I'm going from a public school that is all black people. I had one white homie in my class named Philip. It was like 200 of us. It was one white dude named Philip. And then switching, now it's like me, my homie KJ to this day, and the homie Jeffrey Brashaw. That was like literally the only three people that were like black in the whole class, right? So there was certain stuff that like, in public school you can get away with. Like,
you do anything.
Like throwing stuff or whatever. Hey, settle down, instead of like, oh, now you're in trouble, go see the principal. There was one time I got in trouble. My mom gonna hate I told this story, but one time I got in trouble because me and the homie were talking about, kind of bragging about like, what's the worst whooping that you got? And so I'm like, nigga, what? Like, hold on, man. One time my mom whooped me, man, I fell asleep. And he was like, that's nothing, bro. One time I got 2 whoopings at the same time. Like, I'm like, what? My white classmates overhear that, tell the principal, oh yeah, he's being abused at home. So now my mom come up to the thing, and now I get in trouble for getting whooped at home. Like, she was like, you told these white people that I was beating you? I said, no, I didn't. I didn't tell them. I was actually bragging. Like, I was like, man, that ain't nothing, bro. Like, what? My mom got better hands than your mom. I'm like, but like stuff like that to adapt to that, because that's normal. Like, it's nothing wrong with that. Like, to me, the way I was brought up, I turned out pretty fun. But like just adapting to that. And just the different rooms that I'm in, the different, I'm with Jack Nicholson's kids and Magic Johnson's kids and Michael Jackson's kids and all these things that I kind of took for granted because I'm just like, these are just my friends. And then oh my God, I didn't know that was your dad, and doing all these things. And, my mom sacrificed a lot, so I didn't see that I was living in Englewood. And even though I took the bus to school every day, I'm still living the same life as my rich white friends. So just me being me. My white friends were like, yo, he's cool. Like, that helped. I was never like clicked up, high school and stuff. There's all these cliques. I was like in every single clique. And I just never changed. I was just always stuck true to myself. And the thing about like life is like, if people fuck with you, like no matter what, they gonna fuck with you.
Right.
So like if that's a relationship with a girl, you overthinking stuff, it's like if they like you, it don't really matter because they gonna fuck with you regardless. So that's how it was growing up, where it was like I can be funny, I can be this, I can be doing too much, it could be new to them, but like I never changed for myself, and they were like, I like him, he's like something I haven't seen before. So to kind of like parallel that to like Bel-Air is very similar, especially like when I'm, I never forget this quote, like, this town will try to make you forget who you are, where you came from. Don't let it do that. That's real.
Yeah.
That's so real. And I was like, I lived that. And so me telling Jabari Will that was some real shit I was telling him, really. So it's like half the time, too, not to get off topic, like what's so funny about this fucking writing is we all have conversations, the cast, about just like, are they fucking spying on us? Because a lot of stuff that happens, it's either it's happened to me before, like happening right now, and this is for all of us. We're like, dude, how did they even know that this is even happening? Like they'll be too spot on about just certain, even like my relationship with Hillary, and then like her having a boyfriend that is a football player. I'm like, that actually happened. Yeah, like, I didn't tell them that.
Right. They don't know this.
I didn't tell them.
They don't know this.
I saw something the other day with Bentley, who plays at the Bel-Air Beach Club.
Yep. Plays Zaire.
He's from Englewood, and he was like, my school in Brentwood. I'm like, what the? I'm like, what? Did they? This is weird.
But that's what makes the show so real and authentic, is because everybody's relatable. A lot of us are so similar in so many different ways. We have so many different stories that we just don't tell.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so relatable. But we was talking before the show of like sometimes navigating. I appreciate you staying true to yourself and having your mom to tell you that.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when you get into an environment growing up a certain way and then you being around white people, first experience I had was around white people in the Air Force.
Okay.
Right? I'm in the Air Force, and I had white people coming up to me like, "Can I touch your hair?"
That happened all the time.
That type of stuff like that, and dealing with that. And then now getting into corporate America, being in broadcasting and TV, and trying to like even having the code switch and trying to change your voice or whatever, and sometimes even losing yourself.
Yeah,
like I had lost myself when I was at ESPN because they tried to change me from being who I was. Because I was so similar in style to Stuart Scott. Remember I told you that story?
Yeah.
Where the guy told me, he's like, you're not moving up because you're too ghetto, and we already have one of those. I was told that. And so you lose yourself. So I appreciate you saying that, man, because I think a lot of brothers need to hear that you can still be yourself, but still adapt and not be over the top with some things.
Like you said, lose
But
yourself.
the flip side of that is sometimes I feel like I've been too black for white people, ghetto, but then I've also been too corny for some black people. Have you ever experienced that where you've done this, you've been and they're like, man, you forget about us, you don't know who you are or whatever and stuff like that. Oh, you're over there with your white friends or whatever. How do you adapt to that? How do you deal with that?
You know, it's funny. I promise, I never felt the way about it. Like my family's from Dallas. I was born in Dallas, but I'm 31. I moved here when I was 5, so I'm from LA. Man, every summer I would go down to Dallas, and all of my black friends, they're like, man, you talk white.
Oh,
You talk
there
white.
it is.
You talk white.
Yep.
But my thing was, I never thought I was like better than them, but I just thought that was cool to do at the time because the coolest people I know, like, I know Magic Johnson kids.
Right.
Like, I know, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, this
They
how
sound
they
like
talk.
me.
Yep.
I know everybody who's lit. This is how we talk. So I'm just like, I don't talk white. I'm just from LA. And so I never ever got into like, let me start talking like this. Like, you feel me? Like, never did
Know what I'm
that.
saying?
Right.
I actually be thinking it was so funny. This is really a side tangent. You know how like Damson Idris and
Yeah.
how they do interviews and
Man,
they talk like this.
hilarious.
And so you're like, oh my God, they're such a brilliant actor because, oh my God, on the show he plays like a LA really hood guy, he talks like this and he can switch. Oh my God, he's such a brilliant actor. I'm gonna start talking like this like every interview and then say,
Right,
like,
you would kill it.
Just to get into the Jag kid, I had to change my whole shit up. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm talking about? 'Cause I could really the whole time, like the whole interview, I could talk like this, like the whole time, but like I choose not to. You feel me?
Bro, that
I
is
like that though.
amazing. This boy
man.
is showing his range, y'all. He's showing his range.
Man, do that shit
but I can
sometime.
talk like this. I can code switch. And I'm like, oh my God, he's so talented.
Right.
Bro, that is when I got drafted to Atlanta. And I went to San Diego State. I grew up out here. I didn't know what the fuck they was talking about.
Oh man, yep.
I would be in the mall just trying to get some shoes, and I'm like,
What up, cuz? Hey, man.
"Hey, shout it. Well, I can't even do it because I was just like, say, excuse me." I'd be like, "Say what?" And it was a girl. She was just like, "Oh, where you from?" I said, "I'm from California." She was like, "Oh." I said, "What's up? You sound white." I said, "What?"
Yeah, it's great.
I said, "Why? How is that?
yeah.
Where you finna go?
How do I sound white? Y'all don't even say your R's.
Nothing.
Like,
no articulate
around her?
anything.
Usher, what is happening?"
Yeah, but Usher.
And
Usher.
so it's one of those things where I grew up where you grew up, right? But as you elevate and you take yourself, like we live in where we live now, right? Like we don't live in Englewood anymore.
No.
And so my kids don't have to grow up like I grew up, which was the whole point.
That's the whole point,
Right.
right?
Literally
Okay.
why I've sacrificed and done anything I can to change the social economic background of my entire family so my kids can just be kids.
Yeah.
Because in Englewood in the 80s when I was growing up, it was hard to just be a kid.
I'm sure.
It was hard to
Yeah.
just be a kid, literally. Lived in the Crip neighborhood, went to school in the Blood neighborhood.
Man.
Figure that out at 10.
So you gotta just literally figure it
You
out.
got, at 10 years old, riding the
Yeah.
RTD.
And my
Wearing
mom
green
didn't want
every
that
day.
because my homeschool was Englewood.
Come
so
on,
I could have
man.
walked to Englewood for free. And my mom was like, yeah.
Ugh, not that one.
Mm-mm.
Not that one.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy when you're a kid, you don't understand shit. You don't.
You don't.
So I think I resented my mom, dude, that whole summer. I was at Frank D. Parent Elementary School, and I hated my mom for like 2-3 months. I'm like, you're taking me away from my friends. You don't love me. All this stuff. I don't know all these people. Looking back on it, oh my God.
It's the best thing she ever did.
Yes,
best
mom.
thing.
Yes,
Never
mom.
did. I swear to you. But like, I remember that time, and I resented my mom so much. 4th grade, never forget it. Taking me out, I'm like, why are you taking me out? These are my best friends. I only know that kindergarten through 4th. Like, only know this.
Mhm.
That's it.
Didn't know that like she was doing the best thing. There's a lot of stuff that happens where I'm like looking back, like, damn, Mom, I'm so glad you didn't listen to me
Right.
when I was 9.
This is the part of the show where we go unfiltered, where we ask every guest about, something that was pivotal in their life, where they've been that. Have you had any kind of moment like that in your life?
Yeah, several. Man, I think one was working as a PA. One was for sure working as a PA. Just because that was like very new for me. I went to USC, so getting a job like that was.
You went
like,
where?
I went to USC,
Oh, okay.
University of Southern California.
Okay.
Okay.
Fight on. But yeah, just coming out of USC, seeing all my friends get all these crazy jobs and stuff. But I knew I wanted to be in entertainment. So I was just like, okay, I gotta start somewhere. And so I, through my connections, you know, all my white friends whose dads were producers and stuff, he was like, yo, my dad got a job for you. Like, and I didn't have to like fill out all this paperwork and stuff. They were like, oh yeah, that's your best friend. Bring him on. And that's where I was like, oh, this is why I went to these schools.
Right. Oh, this is why.
This is when I was talking about networking and stuff.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, because now you could just ask a question and like, yeah, sure, I don't care. Like, oh, go ahead. So I was a PA for like almost a year, maybe 9 months. And man, it was pretty bad. Like, and it wasn't a production like Bel-Air. So like I was doing crafty. I was making breakfast and eggs and stuff for and you know, mass. I was cleaning under trailers. I was dealing with certain celebrities that are just like complaining about stuff where I'm like, like I asked for sparkling water. There's still water in this trailer. Like and I'm just like, honestly, I know you're a guest on this show, but who are you?
Did that help you though, real quick? I mean, now that you're in that position,
oh man, like
to not treat people a certain way.
100%.
Yeah,
I mean, my thing was just the way I was raised. Like it's like I wouldn't treat people like that anyway. You know, some of the stuff that I've seen is just like we all piss bleeding shit. That's what my mom always say. So it's like I don't care what movie you done or how much money or where you live. At the end of the day, we all do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And we all gotta die. So at the end of the day, you not above me. You know. I'm not below you like that. Of course, you do certain things, but I don't treat people below me. And so the greatest part of this story is it was a show called Home and Family. It was like a DIY show, and they would have special guests to come on and promote their stuff. And so when I quit that job, I didn't have any plan. I was just like, I don't want to do this no more. Like I've been here long enough. Like I really want to act now. So I'm gonna quit and like let the chips fall where they may, you know. And they did. They really did. I didn't have any plan. I just knew that I had talent and hard work. So I just was like, I'm just going to bank off that. The craziest part is during Bel-Air season 1, the influencer house where Hillary's staying, it was the same place where I was PAing.
Wow.
The same place.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
That's crazy. I thought you actually knew that. It was the same exact place. So Dale was our director at the time. And we're, you know, when we're in the van going over there, I'm not looking and stuff. Me and Coco talking. And we get out the van, and I'm like, what the? And I'm like, oh, we walk inside, and it's like the kitchen in there, same exact way. Everything is the same. And so I started like getting emotional. And then Dale's like, you ready to rehearse? And I was like, yo, just give me a second. Like I was about to cry because I was like, man, I remember when I was here. And I got that same feeling, like 2017, like went right back, and I was like, this is crazy. I told myself. I didn't think it was going to be the same exact set. But I was like, I told myself, like, one day I'm going to be one of them on the camera. Because sometimes when I was PAing, I would be a stand-in for a second. And I'll be, like, really excited, like, over on the camera. And I was like, one day, man, I'm really going to be the dude, for real. And so being there and, like, in the same exact room it was crazy. God is a comedian, by the way.
Absolutely.
He is.
Has to be.
Yep. Great
Has
sense of
to
humor.
be.
So I'm not rehearsing. Dale's like, you good? And I'm like, man, this is so crazy because I really PA'd here. I was doing lockups here. I was getting yelled at here because during the lockups, some of the makeup people felt entitled. And I'm like, no, you can't come through. And then they come through anyway, and I can't touch you.
Right.
Because then that's a whole nother thing. So now I'm on the walkie getting cussed out and whoop-de-whoop. And I'm like, I tried to tell her, and now it's just like, it was just brought me back to experience. It was like, that's kind of why you did that. You know what I'm saying? So you can be here and be like, I would never do that. And at the time, Keisha, who was one of our makeup ladies, her son was a PA, Johnny. And it was great because he was there, and I was just kind of in this moment, and I was explaining to everybody the moment, and afterwards, he was as a PA, he came up to me, he's like, bro, that was really moving. Because as a PA, I know that you started there, and, like, I can do anything. Wow. And I was like, that's it, bro. That's love, bro. Because, like, I don't do this to be like, hey, just so you know, here's the lesson, guys. Everyone can. I don't do it. It's just experience, you know. And I love to share my experience, you know. And I think going back to kind of your point about like how you treat people, man, it's like, as a PA, like, I have so much respect for them because I was a PA. Right. So, like, I'm the type of person that, like, when they ask me for stuff, now, if they on my head, like, you got to be on set right now, I'll be like, okay, yeah, can you please give me that water? Damn, man, I really appreciate it. But if they usually come up to me and ask me for stuff, I'll just be like, tell me where it is. Like, I got time. I ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I've always acted that way. And then when people treat certain PAs a certain way, or whenever I see, like, actors try to act a certain way, I'm just like, you're whack. Like, you're lame. Yeah. Because my mom always said, you get more bees with honey anyway.
That's
and then Samuel Jackson said something, I don't want to misquote him, but he said, don't step on the toes today, for they can be the ass that you have to kiss tomorrow. And I was like, that's the realest shit I ever heard, for real.
Because that's how it goes.
And I heard a story about Jackie Harry, who's sister to my mom's sister. She was telling a story, and she was saying that basically, she was really mean. She did one movie back in the 80s or something like that. She was really mean to this one male guy, like just being a diva or whatever. Later on, she finds out that same guy is Kenya Barris. And so he had told her, like, I worked on your movie back in the day, and you were a dick to me. And she was like,
well,
oh my God.
You don't know, man.
So you just don't know. Because I was the PA. Then now people are like, oh my God. And I'm like, you don't have to do all that. Like, I am just a regular dude. And so it's just real. Because you don't know who's going to be what, who's running what race and what journey who's on. So And
I will say this, you carry yourself on set like a professional.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to work with you.
Same. Likewise. Seriously.
Just the energy you bring, your personality, right? Yeah. Like, it's nonstop laughter. And the relationships and how you guys all get along with each other, man. It makes going to work fun. And I tell people this all the time. Like, I've had a lot of success in my life, and I've worked too hard to now take a job where I work with people I don't like.
Yeah, man, that's real.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to take a job where I don't want to be there and coming to work every day, long days, but with you guys, it's amazing, man. It's a testament to how you were raised. Yep. I got to meet your mom. Put her in our episode in season 2.
Great.
Right? You know what I mean? Just working with good people. It just makes work fun. It's not work for me. Yeah. Like I like to say, since I've been an adult, I haven't worked a day in my life.
Man, if you love what you do, you never work.
And to pair what he had to say, we're gonna wrap things up, man. But before I met you, I was a fan of Jazz. Like, I love the character. Love, like I said, now that I've met you and I've talked to you for the last 30 minutes or whatnot, man, I'm a fan of Jordan.
Thank you, man.
I'm a fan of you as a person, man, and I'm rooting for you and anything that you're in, man. I'm always gonna support, and I pray that our viewers got something out of this too, man. Because continue that attitude, man. Continue to stay humble. Man. Continue to stay brilliant at what you do, brother, and you're going to have a long, successful career in whatever you decide to do.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that, man. That's love.
We appreciate you being here.
Of course.
Yes, sir.
Anytime.
And it's genuine. It's real love, man. It's real love. That's my guy right here, but now you one of my guys.
That's love, man. Absolutely. Appreciate you, man.
Absolutely,
Thanks for having me, seriously.
Jordan Jones, man. Jordan L. Jones.
Real deal.
You keep the L? I got to keep the L. I'm going off of Michael B. Jordan and Samuel Jackson.
Okay.
Because those are normal names. Michael and Jordan. Samuel Jackson is the most common name. Right. But he put that L in there. So it's now whenever you hear that common name, you think of him.
Jordan
Jones is pretty common.
I like that.
Jordan L. Jones.
Oh, you mean Jordan L. Jones?
Jordan L. Jones. Yeah. Distinguished.
Yeah.
Bro.
That's the plan.
We're going to be hearing a lot of that name over the years to come, man.
Yeah,
with everything,
you,
not just acting, but behind the camera as well. As I know great things happen for you every day. Thanks for hanging out with us, man.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
It's another episode of the Done There, Been There podcast.
Remember, subscribe, like, let us know what you think. We are here for you.
Always keeping it real and genuine, man. We'll see you next week.